Well, I was at the age of 5 years old. I didn't know what was happening. All I know is that there was bombing and explosion in the air. We kids didn't know what was going on till we saw all the planes passing by, and we got excited. But but then we didn't know what it was until later on when the news came on.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
But we did get frightened, so we'd gather all the kids and take us to a bomb shelter in school. Went into the bomb shelter. We were very scared. We didn't know what to expect, but we went to use gas masks. And to use the kind of gas masks, we didn't know whether we needed to breathe or what it would feel like. But we did experience the smell of the gas mask. It wasn't a good smell, but it was our protection to protect us from poison in the air, explosion. And so after that, we stayed in the tunnel in the shelter for a little while, for quite some times. I don't know how long we stayed until night came. Then our parents came to pick us up. When we left our school grounds, we went into our cars. It was getting pretty dark. We were told we can never use the lights. We have to drive in the dark. So that's what happened. We had to drive home, and my parents were scared because there were so many cars on the road. And so we got home, but it took us many, many hours before we get home. At the time, I was living at the North Shore, way down the countryside. So I only knew about that area. But again, like I say, it was a very experience that we ever saw as kids. We were very scared and frightened. And we didn't even know what was going on until the next day when the grown-ups told us what was happening, that Pearl Harbor was bombed. And we still didn't understand because at that age we just didn't know. So anyway, it took so many days before we could go back to school. They had the school closed. It happened so long ago when I was 5 years old. After that, I guess it took so long to get things occupied, fixed by all the volunteers, all the servicemen. There were a lot of people that died from what we heard. And in our mind, we just was scared. We couldn't think of anything else. I was just scared. And it's amazing that I ever lived to see that because I was only 5 years old. When I first started kindergarten, I was just kindergarten. But that excitement of bombing and explosion got us all scared. I guess we thought we were going to die, but no, we were protected, and a lot of people got hurt. And all we know is that we were back with our parents, we're safe, we're okay. But it was hard time because a lot of people was very, very scared, and they didn't know what to do. But then gradually, as time went by, I guess things started to kind of cool down. But then there was still talk about what happened, the bombing of Pearl Harbor.